but it too contained names such as Johnny Prescott and Brian London. No disgrace there. Now, he was on a collision course with everybody's favourite heavyweight, our Henry. And so in this programme, we'll show you 2 or 3 fights leading up to that clash. First one you'll see is against George Johnson. It's November the 3rd, 1970, a little over 23 years ago.
10 rounds to go. Joe Bugner, the best young British heavyweight prospect, against George Scrap Iron Johnson. Scrap Iron because he was a garbage collector at one time in his life. 16 stone, 1 1/4 this man weighs, only 5 feet 9 inches tall, and he has an 11 3/4 pound advantage over Bugner. And the great interest in this fight tonight is not really to see whether Bugner can win, because he ought to win it against Johnson, but to see whether in fact he can stop this black tank of a man. Johnson, who's been the distance with Joe Frazier, the current world heavyweight champion, and also this year went the distance 10 rounds with Jerry Quarry, the man whom Muhammad Ali beat in 3 rounds in Atlanta, Georgia last week. Well, I expect we should see quite a bit of that, because I don't see how Johnson can really avoid getting his head down against Bugner. Bugner using his long reach here, of course, to pick the man off as he comes to him. And there really is no reason why he should ever allow this man to get close to him. Well, there's some sharp work done there by Bugner from long range, and that will be enough to win him the round. Joe Bugner, still only 20 years old, 15 stone 3 1/2 tonight, and conceding 11 3/4 pounds. Scrap Iron Johnson getting on a little bit. He'll be 32 next month. And he was fighting men like Jerry Quarry and Joe Frazier before Joe Bugner even turned pro. This, of course, is exactly the sort of heavyweight fight that the crowd loves to see. Well, that's a neat bit of footwork there for a man who weighs 15. Something he wouldn't have done 18 months ago. He's learning. That was a good right hand from Johnson. And Joe got off those ropes in a bit of a hurry then. That was a dangerous right hand, and a rather ominous right hand, I would have said. And it looks to me as though Bugner's head hasn't still quite cleared. Bugner doesn't want to be pushed around too much inside. He's giving 11 3/4 pounds, remember. These are the moments when this man is dangerous, when Bugner's got his back to the ropes. Rather slow to go back to his corner there, Bugner. And it's noticeable that Bugner is breathing quite hard after 3 rounds. He's been under considerable pressure from the word go. He's really drawing the best out of Bugner. Bugner's having to go full pelt here. That's a stumble. His foot slipped under the ropes. Difficult man to push off. He weighs so much. 16-1 1/4. You could spend a lot of energy pushing this man around the ring. That was a better one. Really is like hammering at a tank against this man. There's one back from Johnson. Again when Bugner had his back to the ropes. And Bugner's hanging on. He really knew he'd caught one again there. Left hand that time. Well, I don't know what it's cost promoter Mike Barrett to bring George Johnson here, but I should think he's getting value for his money. Nice right uppercut there from Bugner. Doing most of his work to the head. There's plenty to aim at downstairs. Well, I'm beginning to think that this man is the toughest he's had to face yet. He hasn't won too many important fights, but some of the people he's met are the top names in American heavyweight boxing. He's fought people like Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier, Jerry Quarry and George Foreman. Well, you've got to leave it to Bugner now to judge whether he can afford to open up against this man, whether he feels that he's drawn enough strength out of him with the left jabs to risk going in and working with the right hand a little more. This is only something that Bugner can work out for himself. Punch just seemed to bounce off this man. And he keeps moving in. Blubbery man, like some black porpoise in this ring. And Johnson gives a little shake of the hands. I don't know whether he thinks it's only an 8-rounder, but he's got 2 more to go yet. Difficult to tell how strong this man is, but he still looks fairly strong, and clearly he's still going to come forward for the last 3 minutes. And the crowd have enjoyed this, and there's been a lot of sympathy on the side of Johnson. They like to see this rather extraordinary-looking figure who has come forward throughout the previous 9 rounds, and is going to make a scrap of it in the last 3 minutes. And Bugner again doing the scoring as we come to the end of the 10 rounds. I wouldn't think Bugner has lost a round. A couple might have been drawn. That's about it. And there it is, the end of 10 rounds, and up goes Joe Bugner's hand, and he gets booed for it. He got booed when he fought Coletti here. I really don't know why people boo. He's really won the fight by a considerable margin, in my opinion. And so, Bugner, just as Joe Frazier did and just as Jerry Quarry did this year, has outpointed the strongman, Scrap Iron Johnson, over 10 rounds.
So, win number 29, a second successive points victory for Bugner, but after the